Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone. My name is Saman Habibi, and today I have a very special guest with me, Mayor Dan Carter. Thank you for joining me on the show today.
I really appreciate it. The first thing I have to say is I love the jacket.
Love
All
it.
right,
Yeah, thank you
that's
for
it.
the praise.
I love clothes, so I have to go there. So
Thank you
it's
for the
good to
praise.
see you. Thanks for the
Appreciate it.
opportunity to join you today.
Actually, the blazer is from Oshawa as well, so
That's what I'm
we're
talking
all
about.
local. Yeah, and I know you're a pretty trendy guy yourself too, and I know you've shouted out your place where you get some of your stuff from.
Yeah, I'm a big, I really look at my role and responsibility as representing the city across the country. So
Yeah.
I like to make sure that people, if this is the first look that they get at Oshawa, I want them to feel good about what they see. So I try and do my best. I can't do anything about this part. This part I can.
Yeah.
It is
Hey,
what it is.
we
So,
do what we can work with.
yeah,
Well, we are in the beautiful city of Oshawa, and we are in a new building,
yeah.
Bond Street Event Center, which we want to, say thank you to the whole team for hosting us here. And you've toured the place. You like what you're
I
seeing?
have. Do you know this building has a great deal of history and heritage because originally it was a union hall for the CAW many, many years ago. And of course, it went through a lot of renditions of usage, but it's wonderful to see this revitalization of older historical buildings.
Yes.
And historical buildings give you something, especially if you're running a business or you're creating lofts, it gives you space that you couldn't create in a new build. So this is a wonderful example of how investment continues to come into the downtown, but we're revitalizing older buildings. So it's an exciting time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's done great things for the city. There's a lot of buzz about the space here, and I mean Oshawa. And before we get into the serious stuff, maybe we can just talk about the Oshawa Generals. They advanced to the next round, and that's exciting times.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx them at all, but I
No, not
mean
at all.
they've done incredible. At the end of the season, of course, they went on an amazing run.
Yeah.
Roger Hunt and his team have done a tremendous job of bringing in a lot of great players. I can't say enough about the fans. They've been absolutely amazing,
Yes.
and they continue to support the team. We're really proud. I mean, we've got a great organization in a world-class building, bringing a world-class product. So I'm really proud. Now Ottawa is in front of us, and let's see
Yes,
what happens
yes.
there.
Yeah, we were down for one of the games, and it was my wife's first time coming to a game. And as we pulled up, she goes, "What's happening here?" I said, "It's the Gens game." She's like, "No way! I wasn't expecting to see this." So it was pretty cool to see. But being in Oshawa, why don't we talk about what's happening in the Durham region and Oshawa in
Sure.
specifics? So we're seeing a lot of population growth, and we're projecting for the population growth in the Durham region and Oshawa to grow.
Yeah.
With that said, there's the need for infrastructure. So as this population grows, we're going to need more infrastructure. Do you think that the city of Oshawa is prepared for that growth?
I think there's a couple things. One is how blessed have we been that so many people are now choosing Oshawa to be their home. At our colleges and university, as I always say, we have 145 different nations that are represented there, people sending their kids from all around the world. We're seeing a lot of people from the western part of our city of Toronto and the GTA moving to the east side of it for a couple different reasons. One is we're a very safe, affordable community. We have a lot of green space. And I think with our colleges, university, post-secondary education, world-class healthcare, I think it makes the choice right. And I think your dollars go longer when it comes to residential buying. Are we ready for the growth and do we believe that we'll be able to meet the needs? Yes, I do. But that takes not just the city as a partner, it means that the region has to play a partnership, the federal government's got to
Right.
play a partnership in the Ontario government. Like all municipalities across the province of Ontario, all of us have infrastructure deficits because of the age of our city. We just
That's right.
celebrated, by the way, 100 years. And so our infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, our sidewalks, all of that we're reinvesting, and we continue to do that on a yearly basis. Our capital budget continues to be able to kind of make sure that those strategic investments are done. But we also have put a special levy inside of our budget that goes to the infrastructure investments that are necessary. So, it is a challenge. It's a challenge for many municipalities, but I have all the confidence in the world that we'll be able to deliver.
Yeah, I would say that it's for me driving, to our office in Oshawa. I see it. I see the highway expansion happening. You see up north that happening.
It's unreal. Like if you just look at the main corridor of the 401, you've got a brand new bridge and interchange that's happening
Yeah.
at Simcoe. You'll have a brand new interchange at Harmony Road, which will be pushing more eastward, which will make it a lot safer. That's massive. You look at the GO train that's coming in. We're looking at our gateway from the 401 in Simcoe Street going north, changing dramatically,
Yeah.
and the infrastructure that has to happen there. you know, if we're going to be a successful community, we have to be able to move people successfully also. And I think these investments that you've spoken about are playing an important role.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are a real estate channel, and we are what I've always said to my audience is that along the 401 corridor and the waterfront cities and municipalities, we are in fact the most affordable at the
Yep.
moment. And everything that you just spoke about kind of guides us towards a more appreciation to happen with the real estate market.
And I know that you hear this and you hear people talk about the taxes, especially in Durham region. I
Yeah.
want to just remind everybody, your tax bill that you get, yes, we do send it, but 60% of that bill goes somewhere else. We
Yes.
only operate our city on 40%. We also have one of the most competitive tax rates in regards to residential. What we have to continue to do is continue, and I'm a great believer of this. If people are going to live here, I want them to work here. I want them to be educated here.
Yes.
I want
Yeah.
them to spend time here. So what we're doing is we're concentrating a lot, not only in our residential development and developing communities that are desirable, walking communities, but we also want to attract as much business here as possible. I want people working here. I don't want them traveling 2 hours to go somewhere else to work. I want them to be able to work here. And when you look at OPG moving their head office here, 2,000 office workers here, and great opportunity. Those kind of initiatives, Martin Brower that has just announced
Yes.
their new Eastern Division headquarters, that's a really important investment. So we're trying to make sure that we do both really, really well, because I want people that move here to live here, work here. But I also understand that we've got to work at that tax aspect where we get more commercial and industrial
Yes.
so that we take the burden off of residential.
Did you look at my notes, by the way?
No, I
Because
did not.
you're talking about a lot of
Sorry.
things that I want to talk
Sorry.
about.
Okay, well, it's been great being with you. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So in terms of and you kind of segue into my next point, which is employment. So
Yeah.
we have population growth, people coming.
Yep.
To your point, you want people to work here. Why don't we talk about the employment landscape and our economy? Because in the past, we've been known to be a manufacturing town.
Yep.
But we know that in fact, manufacturing accounts for 6 to 8% of our economy here. We're very diverse. So why don't we talk about what people moving to Oshawa or even people, new residents who have moved here, what they can look for in our economy? What do we have to offer here?
Well, one of the wonderful things that I'm seeing, especially in our city right now, is a lot of entrepreneurship, small businesses, people buying franchises, starting their own business, businesses that they've started other parts of Ontario, now a second or third location
Yeah.
here in Oshawa. I'm really happy about the family business because I believe consumers are in a place now where they can make really good. They want to make buying decisions, but they want really good service.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think family business, personal services like what you deliver, is a really important thing because you're not just working for a company, you're working for them.
Yes.
And I think that's a different perspective in regards to how people address it. So I think that those are the kind of things that really excite me. But I talked about OPG and the energy industry coming in. The automobile industry still plays a significant role. Over 10,000 individuals are employed through there. But healthcare is over 12,000 people.
Yeah.
And that plays a significant role. Post-secondary education plays a significant role, right? There is so many different facets of our economy. This is one thing that I'm really proud about. Not just the diversity in regards to our population, but the diversity of our economy, because it shows that we can actually be able to compete on a lot of different ways. Technology here, especially in our community, is growing leaps and bounds. AI that's happening up at Durham College and Ontario Tech, cybersecurity programs, all of those are meeting the new type of economy and the new challenges our world is facing. That's available right here. But I want to encourage those that may not be living here, that are thinking about living here, that have a family business. This is a great place to do business. And by the way, with the population growth that we are on a trajectory of, the affordability factor and the diversity of our community, imagine what your business can accomplish here. So I invite those that are interested in not just living here, but wanting to bring their business here, please. We can connect you with the services. We'll support you through the process. Oh, by the way, we have the fastest approval time in the GTHA. So, you go from greenfield to a development, we are the fastest out of the GTHA, and I'm really proud of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would say that, I got to give a kudos to the city of Oshawa and your whole team because, whether you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, I would say the amount of information that is available to the general public at the city of Oshawa, whether it just be information that's available online through the virtual interactive map, or information that you guys put out there, like the Business Insider gets published every year, it's out there?
Yeah, Haley Wright and her team at Economic Development do a great job. But the Greater Oshawa Chamber of Commerce, with over
Absolutely, yes.
800 members,
Yeah.
Jason King and his Tourism Oshawa does a tremendous job. There's three of them really working together to be able to kind of help people be able to see where the advantages is in business.
Yeah.
They've done a tremendous job. They're young, they're bright, they're your age kind of thing. They've got a lot of energy and a vision that for many of us that are a little bit older,
Yeah.
don't see that vision, but they do, and they do a tremendous job at it.
I agree. Yeah, for all the entrepreneurs out there, it's a very your team and your council is very good to work with, and there's a lot of information available for.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah, yeah.
But also on the other side, if you do have a bad experience, we want to hear about that.
Yeah.
Because the reality being is, I'm a great believer, we're changing as an organization. We're going from a bureaucratic organization to a customer service focus. And my belief is that we better be the best at what we do, because you can do business anywhere in Ontario.
Yeah.
And, the reality being is, I have to deliver the services better than anyone else. If I do that, then you're going to be our new ambassador.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Let's talk about commercial developments happening.
sure.
Kind of goes hand in hand with the taxes that you were talking about. So, you may hear, and we've heard that there's a lot of commercial development happening
Yeah.
at Northwood Business Park. Some say, some don't like it because it's change. Some like it because they see, the business growth happening, the business plan for that. Can we talk about, the importance of having commercial, whether it be from a job creation perspective, but also from tax dollars coming in? Can we talk about those two aspects and why it's important for our city to have industrial?
Sure. I think always strategically you have to look at geographic aspects of your city and kind of say, where's the best fit? When you look at the Northwood Business Park that we're just developing now, is you look at the proximity to the Oshawa Executive Airport, you look at the proximity of the 407, and you look at the proximity in regards to the other transportation networks. So when you're looking at a competitiveness, connectability is a really important aspect of it. So that's number one. Number two is, we have made sure that our development charges, especially on commercial stuff, is not available. So we don't charge it right at this particular time. So what happens is you save hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in regards to development charges when it comes to those investments. I think it's really important to go back to my point where I want people to live here, but I want them to work here.
Yes.
The other connection, and I'll tell you a very fast story. You know the reason why Martin Brower is here? Martin Brower selected the city of Oshawa because of the reason of the logistics program out of Trent University. They knew that they had a pipeline from talent to their organization directly. Skilled, talented, trained, and ready to go. And that is where I see that we're also punching above our weight. We're preparing those post-secondary educational students ready to get right into the job world right away. That's beneficial to us because that's what companies are looking for. Where a competitive edge is in your people. And if you have good people that are well trained, well educated, and committed in regards to your vision, you can accomplish great things. When it comes to the tax base, it really comes down to is fair taxation all the way across. We understand that we have to be competitive, and the conversation, by the way, right now across Canada is productivity.
Yep.
What are we doing? How do we invest into productivity so we see productivity start to lift and we're more competitive around the world? We've got to really take that seriously. I think taxation plays an important part. The resources that are available through local government to be able to help in regards to infrastructure, all of these things go to be able to help companies relocate here. But we have to look at it where we're finding more of a balance between residential, commercial, and industrial and institutional. And right now we're at a 87-12% or 88-12% or 87-13%. I'd like to see that balance out a little bit.
Favor towards the residential?
Towards residential.
Yeah.
And we're not the only community. I mean, look at Toronto. They're blessed because of the reason that they have such a high rate of commercial industrial tax base. I think it's over 40%, right?
Yeah.
So that takes a huge amount off of their residential base. Then you add the amount of houses that they have, it spreads it a lot further.
Yeah, because I think if more commercial comes into that, if that split becomes a bit more balanced, then yes, you're going to have more buildings go up, but that comes with, employment opportunities for people. And also the commercial tax dollars are much greater than the residential. So perhaps there's more funds to be deployed towards capital expenditures, operating stuff, and kind of give back to the people in terms of the buildings and
And
stuff.
remember this, every dollar that's invested within a geographic area, a lot of people spend that money within a 5 kilometer
Yeah.
radius, right?
Yeah.
So that's really good for local economies.
Yeah.
So, that's the philosophy we look at. We understand that we have to make sure our promising statement, starts right from the beginning. Your idea, moving the company here, the approval process, the talent base, and how we're going to support you all the way through.
Yeah.
If we do that well, then our community benefits. If we don't do it well, you're going to find somewhere else to invest.
So, you mentioned that split between residential and commercial.
Yep.
There's a lot of obviously residential apartments going up. We got Atria developments, we got Ganache, we got 80 Harbor, 135 Bruce. I think 135 Bruce is 2,000 units plus
Yeah.
mixed between commercial and residential.
Yeah.
How are these developers and how are you guys confident that there's going to be the draw to bring people to the Durham region? Is it the affordability factor?
I think it's a combination of a whole bunch of things. So I want to just take a step back. You mentioned some of our partners. You talk about Medallion, you talk about Atria, you talk about Tribute. I always look at it this way as the mayor. I truly believe that we are in a partnership. So the partnership has to be respectful on both sides, and we have to say, what are we trying to accomplish? And I've always taken that philosophy, and that's the reason why we have good relationships with those that invest in our community, because I truly look at it as a partnership. You look at Panettone or Broccolini that are doing the work here, we look at it as a partnership. So that's the first thing that we have to do. The second thing is we do have certain initiatives in regards to the investments that are made, especially in the downtown core. We have CIPs, we have tax breaks, we have a whole bunch of different things like that that help us accomplish the attractiveness. If you look at downtown, I think we have over 4,000 residential units that'll be available. We also have to understand the marketplace. And so we have to understand that rental units are going to be a big part of people entering into the housing market, and we have to be able to address that. We also have to address the demographic issue, which is 55 plus is now getting to a point where we want to sell our houses and we want to kind of travel the world. So we're going to sell our house, live in a rental unit, or buy a condo.
Yeah.
Lock and leaves, I say.
Yeah.
And you're seeing more and more of that. Atria did a great job at 80 Bond Street, where they built a rental unit that is condominium based. So they have security, they have a concierge, they got an unbelievable gym, they have facilities there, their finishes are good, it's in the center part of the city, it's got transit out front, it's got 3 levels of parking, it has EV charging, it has all of the things that a great condominium place has. And so those are the kind of things that we have to look at a mix. Again, as it comes down to, do we meet the needs of affordability, safety, and future? And I think that we check all 3 boxes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. We've talked about a lot of serious stuff.
Yeah.
Can we do some fun things?
Sure.
Can you maybe name or, you don't have to, I wanted to get some recommendations from you for anyone that's new to the area.
Yeah.
What do you like to do? What do you do for fun? Any restaurants,
What-
pubs, experiences? What would you say to
So
people?
first and foremost, we've got a great waterfront. The Ed
Yes.
Broadbent Waterfront Park we just developed over the last 2 years. I'm really excited about conversion that is happening in downtown in September,
Yes.
and that's going to be really exciting. Facilities like the Bond Street Event Center is amazing. Biltmore, the Regent Theater, the TCC. We're really seeing a cultural kind of excitement that's happening. A lot of the things that are happening here is really going right into our creative class. So I love that aspect of it. Some of the restaurants that I love going to Avante's, of course, because I love Italian food, and I really enjoy that experience. But there's, in the downtown core alone, we have over 54 different restaurant experiences or culinary experiences, and I think that that's an amazing thing. For me, I really love our trails, and I spend a lot of time, my wife and myself, we're active, so we love that aspect of it. Our trail system really kind of gets us active there. And the bottom line is that we don't have to go into Toronto for great entertainment. We could do it right here. So there's so many aspects of my city that I'm so proud of. And understand, I'm an implant, right? I come from Agincourt originally, and I've lived in this area for over 30 years now. And so I'm always amazed at our city. And I'm excited because I discover new things all the time.
Yes.
But it's just a really great city. And you know what? Do me a favor. Invite everybody here, and I'll walk the city with you, and I'll tell you, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Mayor
Thanks.
Carter.
It's great to
Appreciate
see
your
you.
time.
All the best, eh?
Thank you.
And keep up the good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's doing good.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Mayor Dan Carter. And if anyone wants to connect with you and your team, what's the best way to do so?
Best way to do it is just get in touch with us at City Hall at 905-436-3311, and just ask for the mayor's office, and my chief of staff, Mark Orton, will look after you.
Excellent. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.